Hello and welcome to Engine Adventures review of this 2023 Infiniti QX80 Sensory. The Sensory trim is the highest level offered by Infiniti on the QX80, and it comes standard, much like the Lexus in the previous video, with 22-inch wheels and fairly small sidewalls. So these are 275/50 R22s. I believe that equates to a 33-inch tire. So they're still a big diameter overall, but it's such a big vehicle, it hides how big those tires really are. And of course, with the 22-inch wheels, you have a fairly small sidewall. This thing is equipped with HBMC. I've been waiting for this for basically since I started doing vehicle reviews. Every other Infiniti QX80 I've had has not been equipped with hydraulic body motion control, HBMC. And I should have turned the wheel a lot more when I stopped, but sorry for the angle there. But the top of the shocks, you can see those hydraulic hoses coming off of the top of the shocks there, and that's all four of them. That's all linked together. Gives you really stiff sway bar effect, or anti-sway bar effect when you're cornering, and we'll talk about that in the S-curves. But anyway, it stays so much more planted than any QX80 or Armada that I've driven in the past. It's so much more stable. The floaty feel has gone away. I love it. Anyway, we'll talk more in the S-curves about that. And then when you're off-road, you get more articulation out of the system as well. This thing is equipped with the 5.6 liter Endurance V8. I love the sound of this engine. Fuel mileage is okay, maybe subpar, but not completely awful. It's, I don't know, I've been averaging probably about 15. The overall average of the life of the vehicle is 17, which is pretty good, 17.8 I think. But around town and stuff like that, the EPA estimate's like 13 or something, so it's very, very poor fuel mileage for driving around town. But this engine has decent power, 400 horsepower, 413 foot-pounds of torque, and sounds amazing. This is probably, yeah, probably my favorite sounding V8. It just sounds so good, and I guess you pay for it at the pump because really it doesn't get very good gas mileage. But on top of that, this one is full-time all-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive, however you want to call it. So you can see the four-wheel drive badge there, but it has 4 high and 4 low. There is no other position. You don't have a two-wheel drive, which generally costs you more fuel, and we see that here. Some of the exterior features here, this vent actually goes through, but I don't know that it's functional at all. So it might pull some heat out of the engine bay, but when we look under the hood and stuff, it's hard to tell there. Of course, the running boards, and up top, this one comes standard with the roof rack, or is equipped with the roof rack. Rather, we'll look at the window sticker later. On the rear of these things, they are equipped with that air shock. You can kind of see it right in there. Anyway, the shock absorber has an air spring in it as well. So not only does it have the HBMC up there on the top, but there's another air line, and you can barely see the red fitting right there at the end of my finger, but anyway, has another airline there. So these are auto leveling. You can't really adjust the height on your own or whatever. It does everything by itself. On the front and the rear, it looks like, let me check under here, standard coil spring up front. So it's got the air spring on the rear and the standard coil spring up front. Inside, we have this nice leather with the black kind of, I don't know, diamond pattern there. It does have piano black here, which can look really good. This side's like marbled, still quite reflective, and I haven't had much issue with it, but there are certainly times when this piano black will reflect. And on this one, you can rest your hand on the shifter where you need to and kind of cover that piano black. Up here, none of this reflects really into your face, but yeah, anyway. Wireless charging for the phone inside of there works great. Shows you if it's working here. And then cup holders in there. Those are illuminated around the base of them at nighttime. Decent screen, but it's like angled up a little bit, so it's almost angled to be pointing like, I don't know, right here, the back of the moonroof. It's a little bit above the driver's eyes in most cases, and it does stick up out of the dash. I think Nissan Infiniti, rather, could have done a little bit better integrating that into the dash and having it be more driver-centric. Does have heated and ventilated seats. The heated steering wheel is on this side, along with this button, which we're gonna have to turn off. So when we do the off-road testing, it doesn't just stop us for everything. And the rear lift gate, this is to fold the rear seats, and then the power door, you can turn it off so you can't open that with power. Anyway, I do like the control system here. So you have the screen split. You can set different things on different sides. So the radio over there, maps, whatever you want there. And then you have the camera button here. And this will also control, if you're on the radio, this controls the bigger portion of the screen. So let's go back to the map. So that bigger portion here is controlled by this dial, and you can zoom in, whatever. You can move the map around, do all that kind of stuff with it. Anyway, we're not going to worry too much about that. Let's go back. Camera. So you have various camera views here, and if you just keep pushing that camera button, so that is the passenger side front wheel and the front view, and then there's the front view. And then of course, if you're in reverse, that will change, and you can change views here as well. So it's the same views, but you can just change it there, and same with the backup, so you can change the rear view, what it looks like. Anyway, various camera settings there, and here's your four-wheel drive system. You have auto, 4 high, and 4 low. So I guess auto is kind of a two-wheel drive generally, but engages the all-wheel drive as necessary, but this one definitely leans more towards the all-wheel drive. And then 4 high locks it into 4-wheel drive, and 4 low, of course, we're all familiar with that. You get the extra gearing of the low-range transfer case, which on this one, I want to say it's 2.6 something to 1. I'll have to put that up on the screen. I know I've covered it in other videos. It's all the same setup as we've had in the past, so there's nothing real new or unique about this model year. It does have the tow mode there and snow mode, and then your traction control and stability control can be turned off from there. Inside the center console, you can actually open it. There's a button there on the back. You can open it from the back or open it here, and when you open it from the back, you do get like this little extra cubby space, and then there are the headsets for the rear entertainment and the screens, and we'll look at that in a minute. And then the main power for, there's a 400 watt outlet and 120 volt outlet back there. We'll look at that as well. Climate control is pretty cool. So if you hit the front defrost, it'll bring up this quick clean, and it does have vents there, of course, but one thing I like about this one is it has this vent, and that one flows from here and kind of comes up over the top, and especially for air conditioning, that feels really nice, having the cold air flow up and over, where most of them are just using these vents. So I do like that one a lot. You do have the odometer, trip stuff right here. So this thing only has 13, that can't be right. Yep, 1,379 miles on it, and it's averaging 17.4 miles per gallon. So it's pretty much brand new and getting pretty good gas mileage for being a brand new vehicle. One single glove box, it's large, and Bose sound system pretty good sound in here. The seats are comfortable. I know I talk about this in the on-road section. They're comfortable, but for someone my size, these side bolsters do nothing. So the seat is just too wide for me to hold me in place when I'm driving and stuff. So it feels a little bit like a sofa. It's nice having all the room, but it would be nice to be able to contour the seat more to my personal size, my comfort, my desires, I guess you could say. And it does have actually really good headrests. So I've been seeing this a lot on newer vehicles. These headrests will angle forward a lot, or they'll stick out a lot, and you can't actually like rest your head up against them without kinking your neck down. So I do like these new headrests, or these headrests rather, not new ones, but I do like them. Just normal sunroof here, sunglasses holder, but look how fat that sucker is. So my Tifosi Jets have no problem at all fitting in there. That is a rarity, and it's also got a ton of space here. So I do like the sunglass holder because it actually can fit a pair of sunglasses. And besides aviators, it seems like everything's designed around aviators. It does have the extensions, so when you pull it to the side or whatever, you can extend those out, and it is just a single visor. A little dark in here, so hopefully this shows up. The headrests do have screens in the back of them. I didn't mess with these much. It does have a headphone jack right there on the front. Down here, heated outboard seats, USB ports, and all the way down there in the bottom, 120 volt, 150 watt. I said it was a 400 watt. Anyway, 120 volt, 150 watt outlet, and another 12 volt, 120 watt. And your separate climate control. Like I said, you can push this button here and open that up. It does have like the pleated stuff here as well, map pockets. Over on the side, there are bottle holders down there. There's one and then a little cubby. And it does have the vents up here. I do like having the vents up here rather than just in the middle. And this one doesn't even have the vents in the middle. So all the vents for the rear passengers are up here on the top. And then your light is there. Basically nothing here. So they have it set up so you can clearly put in another sunroof there, would be my guess, at least. 2 car seat anchors, so on each side, but there's not a middle set for the car seat anchors. And then of course center armrest with cup holders there as well. And then you can fold these seats manually. That's about the only way to fold them. That's to get in the vehicle. If you're climbing back into the rear seats, then you can do that for a flat load floor. So let's go ahead and fold that all the way down. And then these seats back here are power. So you can power them here, you can power them in the back, and you can also power them from the driver's seat. So, and there you go. You can keep adjusting it and leaning it back or leaning it forward, however the passenger would like. And then when you're in these, make sure and raise that headrest up, otherwise it's extremely uncomfortable. And the space here is okay. So, and the passenger would probably want it like that. So there's enough room. I'm 5'10"-ish with my boots on, a little taller anyway. Yeah, so my knees just barely touching. I can sit up a little bit more so it's not, but the headrest, if you can see, it still kind of hits me in the back a little. Let me see if they go up any more than that without coming all the way out. So no, they don't. They come all the way out from there. So the headrest does hit my back a little bit, but it's not terrible for a short drive. I would not want to be stuck back here for a long drive. It would start to get quite uncomfortable before too long. These buttons up here to the left of the steering wheel are for the second row seats, and it's to tumble them. So you can hit that and then they tumble, and you cannot replace them. There's one direction. All you can do is fold them. So I'm gonna lay them flat and go back to the cargo area here. The glass does not open separately, just the whole hatch. If you have a bunch of basketballs, soccer balls, whatever in there, it's all gonna come rolling out. You can't just open the glass and do that. Anyway, tie down hooks, they're here on the sides, both sides, right here and right here. So they're decent. They are metal. They feel okay. They feel decently strong. Under here, front license plate. And under that, let me fold this other seat down. Takes a minute there. But I want to get this cargo out of the way, cargo cover out of the way. I really should be bringing a tape measure because I cannot remember if that's 8 feet wide, 4 feet wide or not. Then under that, your jack and tire repair tools. The tire, of course, right here, and it is not quite a matching spare. It's full size, but it's on an 18-inch wheel. And there you can see the rear coil spring a little better from this angle, the coil spring, and then the shock is forward of the coil spring. Anyway, it does have the standard coil springs, then the air shocks, and the hydraulic body motion control shocks. Stay on track here. So a big old load floor there. Quite a bit of room in this thing when you lay all the seats down, but maybe not as utilitarian as some of the other competitors. So I haven't been in the new Sequoia yet, but the Yukon / Tahoe and the Explorer all seem to make better use of interior space. Obviously this is the same as the Armada. Let's go over the window sticker real quick, starting with fuel mileage. 19 highway, 15 combined, 13 city. I've been getting about 15. The average is 17 point something and 17.4. And it says you'll spend more, $10,000 more in fuel compared to the average new vehicle. But this thing is massive. It's not getting quite as good as fuel mileage as other vehicles this size, but still love the 5.6 liter V8 with 400 horse, 413 torque. And it does have just a couple of options. So the base price manufacturer suggested retail for the 23 QX80 Sensory is $87,450. The dual screen rear entertainment system was complimentary for some reason. I think that might be part of the Sensory package. And then this one had the split bench seat instead of the bucket seats, so that was also no charge. Of course, the illuminated kick plates, $485, illuminated cargo scuff plate, $390, the roof rails, $410, and the exterior welcome lighting, $455. So basically a bunch of lighting and the roof rails brings a total to $90,885 with the $1,700 destination charge. The exterior color is anthracite gray with the saddle brown interior. $90,000. The LX600 I had last week was $107. It was definitely more well appointed. This one, a bigger vehicle, more space, probably better towing. I haven't towed with either of them. This one at least has everything there ready to tow with, minus a brake controller. The Lexus was missing the 7-pin plug. This one does have it. Anyway, not crazy over the top, but it's definitely a little bit more pricey when you can get basically most of the features this has in an Armada for quite a bit less. You don't get the hydraulic body motion control though, which again, I love that system. One other thing I failed to mention, it does have the camera for the rear view mirror. Accidentally hit the horn. The QX80 on the freeway, you've seen other videos, I'm sure. It is fairly smooth, fairly quiet, but not as quiet as some of the other top-end luxury vehicles out there. The LX600 I had last week is definitely a little bit more quiet than this QX80, but overall it's actually really quite nice. And it's very roomy inside, but for me personally, the seats are a little like a sofa. So they're a little bit big and wide for me. They don't hold you in the corners. There's not side bolstering that's adequate for someone my size. If you're a larger person, taller, wider than me, whatever, it's definitely going to be more comfortable for you than it is for me. But as is, I would like to see some adjustability for the side bolsters to better help hold me in place, but to make the seats more comfortable overall. And yeah, it cruises super nicely. There's plenty of power on hand. It is, with the hydraulic body motion control, there's very little body lean in comparison to Armadas and QX80s that do not have the HPMC. And this is the first vehicle I've had that does have it. I've been waiting for this for years, and it really does make a big difference on road. I haven't done the off-road testing yet, so I can't comment on that. But as far as on-road driving goes, it is much more controlled. There's a lot less body lean in the corners, and overall, I much prefer this system. Hopefully they go back a few steps and start making it available across the whole QX80 lineup like they used to, rather than just in the upper trims. S-curves. Hopefully the sun's not too bad. I think we can just go. These two trucks are a little close, but it should be all right. So, I mean, there's still body lean, and still more so than maybe like a Mercedes GLS or something, but the HPMC controls the QX80 so much better than just the standard suspension system, the standard shock, standard annex sway bar, whatever. So it remains really quite flat, and there have been times like that I've almost felt a little bit motion sick from the Armada and QX80. All right, we are in auto because that's my only option. That's what you're driving around town normally. And we are gonna do a 0 to 60. It says it is ready. So 3, 2, 1, go. It's just a flat foot. Listen to the engine. Camera probably 60. The camera probably doesn't pick it up very well, but this engine just sounds glorious. All right, let's take a look here. And 6.8 seconds. Not bad. Thank you for watching Engine Adventures review of this 2023 Infiniti QX80 Sensory. Very nice vehicle, really enjoy it. Definitely needs the hydraulic body motion control from my experience. I don't know about reliability and all that stuff, but from what I've heard from overseas, that system is actually quite reliable. It's a good system to have, and it just makes the driving experience that much better. Excellent vehicle all around, and drinks fuel a little bit. It's kind of, maybe that's the one bad thing about it, and the interior space usage maybe not quite as good as some of the others, but overall really quite a nice vehicle, and can tow over 8,000 pounds. I think it's 8,500 pounds, and I've towed with them. They do great. It's such a big heavy vehicle, it can tow without much issue, and just excellent all around. I like the QX80 quite a lot. And if you liked what you saw, be sure to hit subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos. Give me a thumbs up and comment down below. Be sure to check out the off-road video. It's going to be slightly modified until we figure out what's going on with the test hill and high-speed area, which may be closed. But anyway, we're going to see what else we can do in this little section with it. And yeah, thanks again. Have a great day.